Hi everyone, this post is for all of you that are just starting out with hair covering. I know that this site can seem quite overwhelming when you first come on. There are all these amazing ideas and these amazing women who are covering so beautifully, but if you just have one scarf and don't really know where to start, it can be quite overwhelming. So this video is for you. This video is not a tutorial. I'm not going to show you how to do any wraps in here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss a couple of simple premises that you need to know before you put anything on your head. At the bottom of this post, and this is on the Rapunzel page, this is not going to be on the YouTube page, so if you're on YouTube, please come to the Rapunzel page, which I will link to underneath the video if you want to see this. So underneath the video on the Rapunzel page, there are going to be quite a few links of the easier tutorials and the easier wraps on this website, which you should master first before moving on to anything more complicated. Okay, so let's first start with what's going on underneath the scarf. So the first thing you want to consider is your hair. Now, when you start covering your hair, especially if you do it every day, your hair is going to change. However, it doesn't have to change very much. The thing that's going to change mostly is the fact that your hair is not getting any more sun. So some people have found that your hair will get a bit darker in color. I actually personally haven't found that, but you know, I've only been married for almost 2 years. Maybe eventually that will happen. But so far, no change there. But some women have experienced darkening of their hair. As well, you will be getting less vitamin D. Apparently, a lot of vitamin D is absorbed through the scalp. So when you start covering your hair, especially if you do those big wraps that come down and cover your neck, then you will be getting a lot less vitamin D. So you might want to start taking a supplement because vitamin D is quite important for your health, from what I know. So think about that. Also consider the type of haircut that you have. If you have short hair or you have bangs and all these short layers in the front, you might find that it is a bit more difficult to get those layers out of the way so you can actually cover your hair. So you might want to consider growing those out. However, there is a solution for you, which I will discuss later. For those of you that have, normal length, shoulder length hair, that's perfect. You just tie it back. For those of you that have longer hair as well, you just tie it back. However, how you tie your hair back is something that you should consider. Ideally, everyone wants that perfect bun shape at the back. So you might be tempted, especially if you have long hair, obviously I know this from experience, you might be tempted to twist it into a perfect bun and twist it very tight so you get that very, very nice shape. Don't do this. Well, if you're going to do it, maybe do it once every 2 weeks. Don't do it often because first of all, your hair will start to recede. You will actually start to go bald because your hair is pulled back so tightly that it just starts to recede. And second of all, and this is what I know from experience, your hair might start to break in certain places if you twist it up in the same way every day. So if you're doing a bun at the back, make sure you twist it in a different direction or do big loops or small loops. Do something different so your hair doesn't get stressed out. The best solution to this whole hair breakage, hair loss thing is to make sure that your hair is tied back loosely. Now you might ask, how do you do that? Because one of the greatest concerns for many women that cover their hair for religious reasons is that hair might come out, and you don't want that's more likely to happen if your hair is tied back in a bun that's loose. So I have a solution for you, and it's called the velvet headband, and I will talk a little bit more about that later. So don't worry about tying your hair back too loose. There is a solution, and it's the perfect solution. So make sure your hair is tied back loose. Make sure you're not putting unwanted stress on your hair. Also, you are not going to tie your scarves too tight, okay? Say that to yourself many, many times. This does not prevent slipping. It actually, if you have the scarves on really, really tight, it will make it slip more. So don't tie your scarves too tight. Don't tie them too loose either, but if it's too tight, it will cause headaches, and it will really damage your hair. So don't do that. So one thing you want to consider as well is your ears. Now I'll show you my ear. Yay, my ear. My ears don't stick out that much, but they do stick out. So if you tie your scarves too tight, it'll hurt. So that's another reason to make sure you're not tying your scarves too tight, because after a couple of hours of really tight pressing down on your ears, you start to get an earache, never mind a headache. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little now about some of the greatest problem and the greatest solution that I have discovered in all my time of hair covering. And that's this, the velvet headband. This headband is the anti-slippage headband, and it was recommended to me by my incredible friend, and if you are watching this, thank you. Thank you. So the way the headband works is that it's made out of velvet, and you put it on your head so that the ridges of the velvet go against the scarf. So you are creating friction against the scarf, so when the scarf wants to slip back, it basically cannot slip back unless you are tugging it with all your might. So these are great. They also help for those of you that have bangs or short hair, because since nothing can really slip out because of the same friction, your hair will not slip out once you put this on. It sometimes can take a little extra work to get all the hair underneath, but once it's there, it will not slip out. It also really helps with headaches. If you wear this, and you should not wear it too tight, but wear it loosely, just so it's not slipping off, you basically now can tie your scarves in a way that is not too tight and won't cause extra headaches, which is great. So this has been a lifesaver. You can find them online. Many different scarf stores sell them, and they are also used for women that wear wigs. So a lot of women that wear wigs have combs in them that hook onto your hair, and often women will suffer from hair loss, so they will wear these as well. So go on to a search engine, search wig, grip, comfort, band, and no slip. If you search any combination of those words, you should come up with a couple of resources. Now, let me just get my cat. Hey, down. She always creates trouble when I'm making videos. Anyway, get yourself one of these. Although if you don't have one yet, don't let that stop you from tying scarves. Just be aware that you might have to deal with a little more slippage. So get one of these. Second of all, many of you are asking about the cap that I wear in all my videos and asking where to get it. First of all, I got all my caps in Israel, so I really don't know where to get them in the US. If anyone has any advice on where to get them, let me know. But I do not wear caps under my scarves usually because I don't expose my hair in public, so therefore when I'm making a video, I want to have something on my head. But usually when I'm wearing scarves, I do not wear a cap. What I do wear sometimes is what is called a volumizer, and it's basically a cap that has a pillow at the back of it that creates that nice shaped bun at the back of your head if you're wearing a style that wants that sort of bun. I made a whole post about volumizers. I will post that at the bottom of this page. So, when you are starting out, you want to have 2 scarves at least. You want to have a square one and a rectangular one. The square one needs to be big. Many square scarves that you find in stores today are not big enough. So keep in mind that it needs to be big. I don't know exactly the right length, and I also know that people have different face shapes and hair lengths and all this stuff, so I'm not going to give you an exact length, but know that it needs to be, I'm leaning back now, about this big for you to work with. If you have scarves that are too small, do not fret, do not throw them out because you can actually use them as accessories. If you have a scarf that is way too big, then you can use it, but they can get quite cumbersome when you are wrapping them, so it might be more difficult. Make sure you start off with an easy to work with square scarf. Now, an easy to work with square scarf is one that is not slippery. So eventually, when you get more advanced, you can start working with silk and satin, but when you start out, make sure it's something that when you rub it is not feeling slippery, because that will be much easier for you to tie and work with in the beginning. 1 square scarf. You should also have 1 rectangular scarf, which is, basically another word for a long scarf. Now this one I'm holding up is quite long. You also want to make sure that it is wide enough. You want it to be wide enough that it covers your whole head, even at the back. If it's not wide enough, then you won't be able to cover all your hair. But again, if you have ones that are not wide enough, do not worry, because you can use them as accessories. If it's too wide, you can actually deal with this by folding it and making it fit your head. So do not worry if it's too wide. So there's your long scarf. These are the two things that you need. Now, when you start wrapping, one of the greatest pieces of advice that I can give is do not get bogged down or attached to any sort of ideas or concepts, because you are new to this and it's a whole new world, and I keep discovering new things every day, so why should you not discover new things every day? One thing you do want to consider is your face shape. So I'm going to show you that when I put the scarf here like I'm wearing right now, this is the sort of silhouette that it creates. When I cover my ears and a bit of my cheeks, it makes my face look longer. If I wanted my face to look rounder, oh, my earring is caught, no, there we go. If I wanted my face to look rounder, I would bring it down more over my face like this. So really play with that and adjust it as you learn, as you go on. I personally do everything. I really have no preference to what my face shape looks like, but it will change how you look. Also, color is a big deal, especially when you are putting color right next to your face. Many of you will notice how when you wear certain colors as a shirt, that it really changes your face and how you look and how your skin looks. So all the more so when you are putting something right by your face. So once again, do not get bogged down or tied down to any specific colors when you are a beginner. You will be surprised to see that many different colors look different when they are up here versus here. So I personally, because I'm pale, I do not look good in black and really dark colors. I find they completely wash me out. Whereas actually pastels, which I never wore before, actually look quite good on me. So don't be afraid when you are in a store to take a scarf, go try it on by a mirror, and really think about how would this look with this kind of makeup, with this kind of accessory, with this everything. As well, a word on accessories, and you'll see in many of my posts that I use accessories obviously a lot. Keep in mind that when you have your hair, your face shape like this, that it's going to bring everything up. It makes you feel so much more regal. It's basically like wearing a crown on your head. But if you have a long neck like me, it's going to make your neck feel very long. So I wear these. These are called earrings, and they are amazing. Before I started covering my hair, I would wear earrings, but they were very small, and I would never wear big jewelry. And now I wear lots of big jewelry because I find that really ties everything in very nicely. So this is the beginner's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, beginners, please put them here, because I'm sure if another beginner comes on, they might see that their question is already answered, which is great because sometimes I can't really answer all the emails as soon as you send them. So it would be really great to have those answers right there. Also, if you're an experienced hair tyer and you think that I forgot something, if there was something that you wished you had known back when you started, please add that as well in the comments section so we can all benefit from everyone's knowledge. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.